Hello again, and for today I have a entertainment-based commentary, as I like to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And with this commentary, it is a much discussed topic. However, I don't feel like I have particularly waded into these waters. And so we're going to talk today about why people shill for corporations and how it really doesn't give you anything at the end of the day. Now, what is the reason behind the shilling? Well, the shilling is for access. Journos and influencers love to shill for these major corporations to get their behind-the-scenes backstage pass into these corporations, so the corporations gives them free new products, free new merchandise, access to events, and things that only you can get with media credentials. And this access helps to boost these people into becoming legitimate voices in the entertainment industry as far as the corporations are concerned. And with this access, they are given the special privilege of getting things before everyone else. You know, initially, some of these people are either fans or people who want to see things for free, as in the case of the beloved Spill.com. But with the access, you then get to see this uglier side of people and their behavior and their protection of their quote-unquote job. And by gaining this access, it demands that they protect the corporation giving them the access from the truth that they're putting out subpar product, that things aren't really working right now, that people are dissatisfied with the way things are going, and it's obviously not good things that corporations want to hear. So this is why the shill is so protective of the corporation. They have no real loyalty to anyone inside there. The only loyalty that they have is to their access. And what does this shilling create? Well, we see it today with the giant Twitter drama on EFAP between, all of these certain people that are now paying attention to EFAP because of their take on Jenny Nicholson, the dumbest fucking show reviewer I think I've ever seen. It's that shilling creates this echo chamber separated from reality because they are protective of these corporations giving them access. The shill does not want them to see what people are actually saying and thinking and believing. They just want people to not ask questions, to consume product, and then get excited for next product. And this is the kind of mentality that has birthed people like Eric Butts, who is this, I don't even want to call him personality. He's just an average person who gets overly excited about everything. And this is what, these corporations want out of us, out of the fandom. They want a consumer, just a blind, loyal, kind of dumb consumer that doesn't question anything, is excited for everything, and has no, brain power to really have a critical eye for what they're watching. And instead, they are just an active consumer. It's literally like having entertainment obesity is what I see in that guy. And that's why I find it kind of funny, even though it definitely is mean. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? You're just getting excited for things that could be bad or could be good. And you're feeding into this kind of delusion. And why I say that shilling for corporations will get you nowhere is very simple. It's because there is no end game for you with these corporations. They are not going to give you anything beyond the bottom line for them, which is barely pre-media release access. I mean, this is why I also do not like the going to San Diego or New York Comic-Con just for the exclusives, because it's like they're going to come out a couple hours later. You don't have to wait in line where certain people are literally just camping out in the presentation halls just so they could see the big event. It's really kind of stupid, and it's created this shill environment. And on the nature of shilling, I just really see that this is the problem with the entertainment landscape right now. And Much like the conservative ink that is the main villain of the Groyper Wars, the Shills are the main enemy of the fandom menace and, just average fans on the street, because they are gatekeeping for not only the corporations, but for any, real opinion on these certain products, because, again, they have to defend the products so they can maintain their access. And what you see in this paradigm is that there's nothing genuine about it. It is all just a mirage. And I do sound like I'm repeating myself a bit, but it's just so fucking baffling, to see. What was a really cringy hot take that I saw recently? Oh yeah, it was Movie Bob. Movie Bob was talking about how excited he was for Thor: Love and Thunder because it takes Asgardians and the Norse mythology away from quote-unquote white supremacists and gives it to a black queer person of color with her Jewish lesbian fucking Natalie Portman Thor. That, again, it's just like, I will get around to that diversity commentary, but it's just like, what is the point of this? How are you moving the conversation forward about what is your critical analysis of this piece that's coming out? You don't have one. You are just using it as a political prop. And this is what, the shill environment has produced. It has produced these people who are just blind loyalty to a T on all of these properties, Charlie's Angels came out this weekend, and there is a big shill defense right now from director Elizabeth Banks because it only made $8 million, that only men hate this movie, and that's why it didn't do well. And yeah, this kind of defense is obviously a joke. It's just simply not a popular franchise enough for people to want to see more. Just like even beyond the original Charlie's Angels adaptation in the early 2000s, and this defense that, if you're not down with these woke reboots, then you're a fucking racist, sexist, misogynist, like yada yada. Like, all that shit is just a distraction from the fact that these people are defending major corporations. And what is the nature of the current shill right now politically? Some of them, including Movie Bob himself, seem to be very far left. And it is super funny to me as an ex-progressive to watch people defend corporations because they hold your favorite brands in their backlog. And, 10 years ago, this shit would have not flown. The anti-war left is also not really keen to this kind of shit. And it's because they're, again, anti-corporations. So to see this social justice left be very pro-corporation isn't just a hypocrisy. It's just really funny. It's just such a funny dichotomy to see. And what we get with the shilling for corporations is just mediocre product overall. This is why I think that shilling for corporations really leads to nothing. It's the fact that we do not get a good product out of these kinds of defenses. And it's because they're insulated. I mean, look at Lucasfilm right now. Lucasfilm is insulated with the shill media. That's all they probably really consume, unless they look to the opposition to be like, we gotta prove them wrong. Those are the real racists. Like, it's just such stupidity to see from this kind of shill bubble. This separated reality. The same screen, two movies reality of this is the shill perspective on what is good right now in entertainment, and this is what people are really saying about entertainment. And it's just so funny because, this is the bubble bursting. I believe that this is when the bubble will burst, is when these shills finally cannot hide or protect these corporations from the truth, from reality. Much like when Vincent James just this week went up to Don, or just last Sunday, I should say, when he went up to Don Jr. and was like, this guy, Charlie Kirk, is not your friend. He's not your ally. You should really pay attention to these people. At some point, there's going to be a guy like that to break it to these corporations that, like, look, the people who are paying for these movies are sick of it. They are sick of the constant haranguing from the media, and they're sick of you people not listening to us, to the real fans. Instead, you're listening to shills who are living in a bubble that they themselves created by protecting you from the truth. And, unfortunately right now, this is the reality we live in. However, the bubble has to burst at some point. And when the bubble bursts, I personally believe that episode 9 will be the straw that breaks the camel's back on all of this shit. Because then you cannot hide the failure of modern Star Wars and the failure of some of these franchises that, they're living on borrowed time. And at some point, they are going to collapse. And, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just around the corner from that. Like I mentioned with the Thor Love and Thunder. It's just, at what point do these identity politics, diversity-driven projects just implode on themselves? At what point is it that we no longer have, like a good superhero movie? And a lot of filmmakers will be, just waiting for that chance to swoop in and tell a really good story that isn't revolving around a superhero. And this is what people are inevitably going to clamor for. We see this with Joker, even though it's based on a comic book character. We see that people are really tired of this kind of dumb corporate property-driven shit. And the shills are not going to be able to contain it much longer. They couldn't contain Joker. They are not going to contain the next Renaissance and make it their own. It will be an entirely new paradigm in which they're going to have to sit and suffer because they have been kind of clouding everyone forever. And so I say to the shills who are continuously shilling for their access, shilling for these major corporations, you better tread lightly, because at some point the shoe will be on the other foot and you're going to have nothing to show for it.